It's time for the One Bar and Lupica Show, bringing you anything and everything Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome to professional football.
All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupica Show. I am One Bar. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about three guys that could be surprise cuts from here until the start of the season. Before we get into that, little One Bar and Lupica news, we recently joined the Purple Territory Radio, which is part of Vikings territory. So check us out there. There's a handful of podcasts, YouTube channels there that are well worth checking out. On that, remember, subscribe to the One Bar and Lupica Show, like the channel. All right, let's get into it. Three guys that the Vikings could surprisingly cut leading up to the season. Not guys that I think necessarily they should cut, but guys that could be on the chopping block come next season. So let's get into it. Number one, our free agent acquisition at wide receiver, Tajae Sharpe. Sharpe was brought in obviously before the draft, and we addressed pretty heavy in the draft. Round one pick Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne round 5. We brought in some undrafted free agents along with the younger guys we had last year with Hollins, Davis, Mitchell, and BC Johnson. So Tajae Sharpe, why would he be a surprise cut? Well, he was brought in, and immediately everybody kind of anointed him as the number 3 receiver, possibly even number 2. But like I said, since then, we've done a lot of work. Tajae Sharpe was a pretty cheap contract, $1 million for 1 year, and you got to look at it. If you got some youngsters like these guys, do you risk keeping Sharpe and letting one of these younger guys go and another team picking them up? So Tajae Sharpe really needs to come in to training camp preseason and really stick out amongst these younger guys. I like Sharpe. I think he does everything pretty damn good, but he could be kind of like the Kendall Wright situation we had a few years ago where we brought him in and he just didn't really stand out, and it was worth hanging on to some younger guys. So Tajae Sharpe right now is probably the 3rd or 4th receiver on this team. So he's got a little ways to go. Justin Jefferson's number 2, and BC and Sharpe are battling probably for that number 3. But KJ Osborne, unless something really goes wrong there, 5th-round guy, return guy, really expect him to make the team. And guys like Alexander Hollins, Dylan Mitchell, even undrafted free agent Courtney Davis could really push for Sharpe spots. So Tajae Sharpe could be a surprise cut. Let's go into number 2, the second guy that could be a surprise cut. And it's not, I mean, it'd be a surprise, but people have been talking about it. So Riley Reiff, left tackle. We've drafted Ezra Cleveland. Do I think Ezra Cleveland is ready day one? Absolutely not. But Riley Reiff comes with that big hefty tag. I think if we cut him, we'd save like $8 or $9 million bucks. But they would have to have a plan in place, no doubt about it. Ezra Cleveland would have to really stick out, really show that maybe he's worth starting as a rookie. The conversation as far as you move Brian O'Neill to left tackle, you got Rashad Hill that can play both sides. So there's going to be options there. And if Ezra comes out hot, Riley Reiff might be a little scared. Another thing with Riley Reiff is do they move him in the guard and then restructure him? But Riley Reiff, even though I don't think we got a day one starter at left tackle in the draft, I don't think Riley Reiff should feel all warm and fuzzy about his time in Minnesota right now because his price tag, yes, Riley Reiff still plays pretty good, not great, but even to have a good left tackle in this league is a win. So that one would hurt a little bit, but the price, the amount they save, and a guy they could throw in and get Cleveland ready for the future. Who knows? Number 3, third and final guy that could be a surprise cut for Minnesota Vikings, defensive tackle Shamar Stephen. Stephen, we brought him back last year after some time in Seattle. Former 7th-round guy has outperformed his draft status, and he's pretty good. Why I think Shamar Stephen could be a surprise cut is, we brought in Michael Pierce. We still got some guys on the roster that are pushing for his spot: Armon Watts, Jalen Johnson, Jalil Holmes, Hercules. Not to mention our 4th-round pick this year, James Lynch, an undrafted free agent, David the Moa Constructor. So Shamar Stephen, I think we save a couple $1 million if we cut him. I don't think we cut him to save that money. I think we cut him based off one of these younger guys stepping up, and we don't want to take the chance of losing him. Stephen, still 29 years old, still fairly young. I think he would be one of the bigger surprises out of these guys, as I mentioned. But Hercules comes in hungry. James Lynch comes in. I mean, James Lynch is going to make the team as a 4th-round guy. And then you're down to Jalen Holmes, Jaleel Johnson. So Shamar Stephan has some work to do. Hopefully he comes in hungry. Hopefully he keeps that spot. Him and Michael Pierce would be a nice combo with these younger guys behind them. But we shall see. Those are my 3 guys that could be surprise cuts. Let me know in the comments who you think the Vikings might possibly release that would surprise the hell out of everybody.